Hello and welcome back to the Games Kingdom. Today we've got a bit of a review, and it is a review of a company called the Artificers Forge, and this is run by a gentleman called Jim, and he is an excellent chap. He does 3D printing, both from his own files and potentially he might do something for you if you have the files. I've had a few bits from him over the last few months, and I have to say both the standard of printing and the speed of getting the items and the quality of the items is absolutely first class. Some have come unpainted, which is great, and some have come ready done, which is also good, as that saves time this end. So what I'll do, I'll show you the bits that I've sort of gotten from Jim over those last few months, as I say, mostly for a project that I'm doing with an Oathmark army. So first off, we'll start with this very nice sort of tree and platform system for, as I say, sort of fantasy games. They are a new system by the gentleman called Joseph McCulloch, who also wrote Frostgrave. So, as I say, this is a sort of tree stroke platform with stairs, comes in 3 or 4 different sections, and is an absolutely fantastic 3D printed structure. Very lightweight, but also, you know, very stable. It must have taken hours and hours of printing, but as I say, that's probably, of all the things that I've had done, or that Jim has kindly supplied to me, sometimes sort of for me to sort of test out, that this is by far my favourite piece, and that came unpainted, so I'm quite pleased how that turned out. Also got an Elven Way Stone for my Oathmark army, because you can have these as sort of centre points, but also I'm using it for Saga Age of Magic Force, which again will come in handy for that, because that's a sort of fantasy skirmish game, using similar rules to the sort of Saga sort of medieval game, you know, with Vikings, Normans, that sort of thing. A couple of smaller trees here with sort of some nice canopies. Again, very lightweight and nice and stable and durable. And then we've got a nice little box of things here. We've got a couple of sort of barricades. These things only turned up in the last few days. So these are sort of like little escarpments that you can sort of hide figures behind and sort of shoot out from and that sort of thing. So it gives you a bit of cover. And then we've got a couple of sort of nice little terrain pieces here that have got sort of barrels, shields, wheels, you know, sort of blockades, that again, you know, you can sort of put figures behind as sort of scatter terrain and use them as sort of you know, sort of barricades for the people. And then there's this lovely little small sort of watchtower stroke outpost with a removable top that literally sort of sits on with sort of 4 square pegs. Again, a lovely little piece that's going to form a nice sort of centerpiece in the table terrain. As I say, that sort of comes off. You can't really get any body or anything in there, but the fact that it comes off, I think, is quite nice as well. And then, last but by no means least, I've got a box full of these things here, which are small canopies, which I got Jim to sort for me. And these little canopies here are very similar to these ones on the trees, which are just sort of super glued on, but I wanted them for this obviously sort of main tree like structure, and I'm going to sort of balance them and glue them on like so when I get round to doing that. I'm going to give them a bit of a dry brush first, so they're going to sit on there, and I just think that will give it and finish this off somewhat by sort of putting these little bits on. It's obviously going to be a little bit tricky, but I think once you get a sort of dab or two of super glue on it and that sort of thing, I'm sure they'll stay on there. So as I say, the Artificers Forge, check out the website. As I say, they do lots and lots of different things, including sort of things for board games and stuff. This is for a game called Raiders of the North Sea, and this is a card holder with the sort of logos and things, sort of Viking logos and things on it. So you put your card decks in here and your discard pile in here. This was the first thing I ever got from Jim. Excellent quality. That's been used several times now in games of Raiders, so that comes in handy. It stops you just having to put the cards on the board, which can sort of get knocked around and sort of make a bit of a mess, and this just keeps them nice and tidy. And also he does versions for sleeved, which is this one, and he does a slightly smaller one for the unsleeved cards if you don't like sleeving the cards in your board games. So as I say, he has an extensive range of things. There's a lot on there for sort of 40k, you know, tokens, scenery, all sorts of bits and pieces. Go and check it out. It's a nice little website. He's extending his range and catalogue all the time, and it's www.theartificersforge.com. That's TheArtificersforge, www.theartificersforge.com. So there you go, a little bit of sort of thing that I wanted to do, just to say thanks for all the work that he's done sort of for and with me for you know, my games and things, and he's done also some 3D printing for a board game that I'm designing, so he's helped me out with that. So that's come on a bundle, and that's now being looked at by a couple of companies. So hopefully over the sort of coming months and things, he's going to be expanding his range. I think he's looking at doing some other things for different board games like Nemesis and one or two others. So keep an eye on that, because at the minute you can only buy those sorts of things through Etsy, and they are quite expensive because they're not done in the UK. But I've been talking to him about one or two things for the game that I'd like him to produce for myself, and then he's going to potentially take those into his catalogue and things. So as I say, he's more than willing to sort of do stuff that you want. He'll even design stuff for you. He's designed a few little tokens and things for the Raiders of the North Sea for me as well, rather than using cardboard sort of tokens in that. He's done me some 3D printed plastic pieces, so it just sort of blings out the game a little bit. But yes, thoroughly recommend him. Go and check him out, and we'll be back again soon with another review, unboxing or playthrough. See you soon.